Bill O'Leary here, coming to you live to talk to you about the 5 rules you need to know about health savings account. This is part of the series that we call Thirsty Thursday, and so sort of a little take off of other uses of the term, but it's where I go live and I talk about a different topic every week that interests me or I see in what I do for a living. Again, for those that are new, I'm an estate planning lawyer, elder law attorney, probate, trust administration, and the like. And my firm is Legacy Planning Law Group in Jacksonville, Florida. So as I like to open all of these weekly talks with saying, if you're thirsting for knowledge and for information, you've come to the right place. So, um, health savings accounts, also known as HSAs, they are absolutely exploding in popularity, both in the number of them and sort of the amount of money that is held in them. So an HSA, health savings account, can be a very valuable tool, not only for paying for medical expenses, but also planning for your future. So I want to talk about, real quick, 5 rules you need to keep in the back of your mind about HSAs. Rule number 1, contributions to the HSA account are always tax deductible. Many times higher income individuals maybe are shut out of different tax breaks. So, for example, there are certain income limits on making a contribution to a Roth IRA, and limitations on IRA tax deductions who may, for those people who may, let's say, participate in a retirement plan at work. That is not the case with HSAs. Those same limitations do not apply. So there are no income limits to make an HSA contribution. And so the bottom line is you're never going to make too much money to be eligible for this tax break. And if you make an HSA contribution, you can also deduct that contribution off your taxes regardless of how high your income is. So that's rule number 1. Contributions are always tax deductible. Rule number 2, a high deductible plan is required. So to be eligible to make a contribution to an HSA account, you have to be covered by a health plan that's called a high deductible plan. Not all health plans are going to qualify as a high deductible plan. So to qualify as one, the health plan has to have a minimum deductible and a maximum out-of-pocket expense. And except for things like preventative care, a high deductible plan cannot provide benefits to the insured until the deductible for the year is met. And so the easiest way to determine maybe if your health insurance qualifies as a high deductible plan is simply ask your insurance company. So that's rule number 2. A high deductible plan is needed. Rule number 3, there are contribution limits. So how much you can contribute to an HSA depends on your age, and it also depends on the kind of health insurance that you have. Contributions are generally what's called prorated for the number of months that you are enrolled in a high deductible plan. And contributions, by the way, can be made by you as the individual, by your employer, or frankly by anyone else. But again, an annual contribution limit applies. And by the way, the deadline to make that contribution is your regular tax filing deadline. For most people, that's April 15th of the following year. Rule number 4, distributions from your HSA account are tax-free if they are made for what are called qualified education expenses. So here there's a double dip opportunity. Not only are your contributions to your HSA account tax deductible, but the distributions out of the account, if they're used to pay for qualified education or qualified medical expenses, I should say, are tax-free. So what this means is that both your HSA contributions and the earnings on those contributions will never ever be taxed as long as you use the money that you've taken out, again, for eligible medical expenses. And eligible expenses also include those that maybe are incurred by your spouse or dependent. And by the way, this is true even if your spouse or dependent may not be covered under your high deductible plan. So HSAs, they offer a lot of flexibility when it comes to what are called tax-free distributions. You can take a tax-free distribution from an HSA to also reimburse yourself, let's say for qualified education. I keep saying education, my apologies, that's a different planning tool. qualified medical expenses, you can do that for prior years as long as the expenses were incurred after you established your HSA account and you have proof that the expenses were incurred. So that's rule number 4, that the distributions from the account are tax-free if they're made for medical expenses that are qualified. And lastly, rule number 5, HSA is a great way to save for medical expenses in retirement. So a critical part of saving for retirement is saving for medical expenses. That can gobble up your money pretty fast. And many experts estimate that a large percentage of retiree savings are going to go towards healthcare expenses. If an HSA is funded every year, starting now, and let's say you do not start taking the money out for your medical expenses, but instead you leave the money in the account to sort of grow and accumulate, that can really grow to a significant amount over time, and that then can defray the medical costs in retirement. That's really the best use of an HSA account. Put the money in, and rather than taking the money out several months later to pay for, let's say, the kids' medical expenses, leave it in so it has a chance to grow, and that growth is tax-free. If you pull it out shortly after putting it in, there's no growth, so you're not getting the benefit. One last thing, you cannot contribute to an HSA once you're enrolled in Medicare. However, you can keep your existing HSA account, and you can still take tax-free distributions for qualified medical expenses. And by the way, you can even take distributions out of that account tax-free and penalty-free if you use the money to pay for, let's say, Medicare premiums and out-of-pocket expenses. And get this, if you don't use the funds in your HSA account for medical expenses, when you reach age 65, you can use them for any other purpose without penalty. Although it would be taxable, but at least you don't have to pay the penalty that you would if you take the money out before age 65 and don't use that money for the qualified medical expenses. So if you'd like to know a little bit more about health savings accounts and the rules that apply and maybe how we can help, we'd love to talk to you. So we would invite you, as we do in all these videos, to go ahead and reach out, schedule a 15-minute phone call. We call it our discovery phone call, chance to start the conversation. Scheduling is really easy. Just go to our website, legacyplanninglawgroup.com, select the schedule your free discovery phone call button, takes you right to our calendar, pick the time that works for you. If you've liked this video, we'd ask that you share it with your friends, and hey, subscribe to our growing YouTube channel, Legacy Planning Law Group. So I'm going to give another talk next Thursday about this same time, same back channel. So if you're thirsting for knowledge, we will quench your thirst. So Bill O'Leary signing off for now. Go make it a great day and a better world.